we are back for the 36th episode of the Home Advantage podcast. Joined today in person, we have Sam and Jude in person for the second time, and we are joined by a special guest, Cornell commit Erik Gibson. I bet you're used to that title.
Schmerik Gibson.
Yeah,
he's here joining us.
Erickson.
Gib Erickson.
We got Gib Erickson on the podcast, guys.
That's
Gib,
my
how you
name.
doing?
I'm doing good.
So, well, it's been a long time since we've recorded our last podcast, and we had Erik in town, and so we thought, you know what? Let's push it off a little bit longer, because that's when we got to push it back so we can have the 3-man podcast. And as you can see, we've got 3 different types of Home Advantage gear right now. So Sam Herring. Actually, we'll start with Erik here, has the super fashionable HMA hoodie. It's a large because he likes large sweatshirts, and he's our male model.
Yes.
Right? Sam has the white hoodie. Maybe if you guys like that, we'll produce more of them. They're not for sale right now. And then I have the salmon swisher. It says funny things on the back.
You have to pose. Good job.
Thank you. Awesome.
We're models.
So we're here today. Talk a little bit of wrestling. There's been a lot of wrestling action in the past couple of weeks that we haven't recapped yet. So now it's time to recap it. And before we get started, I'd like to remind our listeners, like I always do, not Sam, not Erik, but me. Follow our Instagram, follow our Twitter, send us emails at HMA Wrestling. Our website is www.hmawrestling.com.
4 W's.
www. Not that many W's, only 3. But then you gotta make sure to go check out our merch at hmawrestling.com/shop. And Christmas sale, it's coming. Ring-a-ling-ling.
Remember, /shop.
Erik has his
Mistletoe hat.
I'm being forced to wear this, guys.
I'm making him wear it. So, hmawrestling.com/shop if you want to check it out. But, without further ado, let's hop into some of the action over the past couple weeks. So, well, they held it in Cincinnati, and it was the Flow Wrestling RTC Cup sponsored by Titan Mercury. And who doggy? That's a Tennessee thing, right? Who doggy?
I've never heard it before,
Right.
gotta be honest.
Well, who doggy? They had
Sounds like
so
something
much
from
talent.
Tennessee.
So much talent, right? We had 6 RTCs show up. It's, represented from all over the country, right? Between the New York Athletic Club and Wisconsin and NJRTC and SCRTC and Michigan, Cliff Keen and Spartan Combat and Ohio RTC and free agents from everywhere. The Lehigh Wrestling Club showed up and all sorts of stuff. So there's a ton of really high quality wrestlers and a ton of matchups that we're probably going to see in the Olympic trials coming up, hopefully next spring.
So before we dive into that, what do you guys think of the format of RTC duels? And I was talking to somebody about it recently. That is outside of wrestling. They were never a wrestler. They never really got into wrestling until recently. And just so they've been involved in sports, they like all kinds of things, and I like talking to people like that because I know all of us are so tunnel visioned and blinded by everything else. Like, wrestling is the best sport, period. Everything that we do is correct, and everybody should love wrestling, right? But I like getting other people's perspective and making sure that we have a little bit of outside information. So I think the aspect that we have tied to wrestling of when you graduate college, you go to that RTC is like the traditional time. So if you're playing football and people that graduate from Alabama go right into the Alabama professional team instead of Detroit Lions or whoever, right? So I think we have an interesting thing here. And I don't know if we want to keep it. I know Nomad was talking on Twitter about getting into actual professional wrestling teams that are not tied to the colleges, but I don't know if we want to do that. What do you guys think?
So I think initially it makes a lot of sense to keep it all tied into just the same core alumni group, because that just creates investment not only from from a program standpoint and from this is where the next step logically to keep guys, so you have someone who graduates Lock Haven, they're going to stay on in wrestling at the LHU, Mathtown Wrestling Club.
Yeah.
Right. And that makes sense as from a program standpoint to just retain wrestlers, and to keep growing your program, guys are going to go through your college program, and then they go right into your freestyle. The other thing is that from a fan standpoint, it makes it a lot easier to follow those wrestlers who graduated. So if I'm a fan of Vincenzo Joseph and he graduates Penn State, well, he's going right to NLWC.
Right.
And if, all I see is like, oh, Penn State here, right? Like folk style Penn State, freestyle Penn State. It's really easy for me to find Vincenzo Joseph.
And it kind of shares fans too. So like in football, if you love the Steelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to naturally like Pittsburgh, right? You're not going to naturally like both of those schools. But if you like the Penn State wrestling team, you're going to also like the NLWC. And so college fans trickle over into the professional wrestling, and professional wrestling fans trickle over into college.
And that's the cool part about just the, like I said, like not only is it retaining wrestlers, but it's also retaining fans as well. And so I think that's a good thing. I think it's interesting how we're seeing, I guess, over the past couple years, an increase in transfers. I mean, just recently, like, Nashon transferred from, he was he at Cornell?
He was at Cornell for a while.
He was at Cornell, and then he
was
went
at
down to
Sunkist.
SCRTC.
He went from Cornell to Sunkist. Then he was off the grid for a little while, moved to Tennessee to coach a club. And he's still in Tennessee, but now he's at the Southeast RTC.
Right, and I mean, obviously the big ones in the past couple years is Thomas Gilman from the Hawkeye Wrestling Club to Nittany Lion and Snyder, and Cox is another huge one. Like, you're having world champions picking up, moving their families all across the country for wrestling. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing an increase in transfers. And I am...
Said none of those guys really had families at the time.
I don't know how I personally feel about it. I think that, like on one hand, there's a lot of good things to be said for, like, you want to get as many good guys as you can and recruit and build up your program, because their program's just like, a college team is, or even some high school teams, but you're not allowed to recruit in high school.
Some teams are.
Some teams.
I think the rule is what? The dormitories.
Kids, I feel like the kids could.
Oh my goodness. All right. Jude's house is
Santa's here.
Santa's arrived. But Eric, what do you think about the RTC format that being tied to a college? And then as far as switching RTCs, do you think that's something that's good for wrestling, or that they should probably stick to their...
I mean, you guys said most of it, but like switching RTCs, I feel like if I were to RTC now, I would not switch.
Right.
Just because, like Jude said, it's easier to follow. Like if I were to just like up and move, and like it would be just confusing.
Yeah.
I know, and I think it's different. I don't know. It's just,
it's kind of like,
plus Eric,
every situation's different, right?
Plus Eric, he wouldn't leave the Spartan van.
No.
Of course he
And
wouldn't leave that van.
I mean, like James Green talked about it. He moved also to SCRTC
From Nebraska.
and a lot of it was just like he needed to be closer to family.
Yeah.
Like he lived in Nebraska and did not see his family, and then now he's going and moving closer to his wife's family and to his own family.
Right.
So I think there's a lot more personal stuff. I mean, Kyle, I think one of his primary motivations was his wife wanted to be a doctor. Yeah. She was going to Penn State Medical School. So
his wife's gonna be a doctor.
Yeah. So every situation's different. I just think it's interesting that it's cool that they're training guys, and guys are willing to pack up and move different places just to get a little bit better at our silly little sport.
The thing that I think would add to the switching of RTCs is if it had to be a trade. Like if we really had a
like
full
a draft
lead,
type thing,
like NFL. The trades are really cool, but right now it almost feels like it's just a guy leaving. Right.
It's also a little bit of a money thing too.
It is a money thing for sure.
I mean, it's not a secret. The NLWC has the most funds out of any program,
RTC,
and not. And I'm not saying that in a sense like, oh, the rich get richer, because it's clear like what Kale did has directly correlated to their increase in funds, and also they just have an extremely large alumni.
Right,
group.
And the coaches that work really hard for fundraising do really well through RTC.
Exactly.
Coach Bona at Wisconsin, their RTC was almost nothing.
Right.
A while ago.
They're
he
coming
worked
up.
his butt off, and they were in the RTC Cup. They're making money. They're able to sign guys like Gross. They're able to sign guys all over the board, and I think the coaches that work hard at it And I know we talk about the successful programs, Penn State, Iowa. Iowa works so hard on fundraising. They have so many guys, and they have guys speak, and that's a big thing to them is a Hawkeye Wrestling Club, donor system, and all that.
I have a question. Did they have – all right, this might seem a little misinformed, but when Brandon Sorensen got diagnosed with leukemia, were they able to use any of those funds, like donated funds or
I have no
accumulated?
idea. I have no
just
idea.
to
That might
help
be
that
something I
out?
need to ask somebody, but I'm sure they did donate something. But
Oh, of course they
I mean,
donated something. I mean, it was crazy. What did they try to raise? Something like they had to raise like 70,000. They raised. I'm messing the numbers up.
hundreds of thousands.
They raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. I actually have a Sorensen bandana over there, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Chris Bono and his Wisconsin
Nice transition.
cheeseheads, dude, they showed up this weekend at the last weekend at the RTC Cup, big time.
That was a good transition.
Seth Gross, dude, Sam liked that.
I'm proud of you.
Seth Gross, Evan Wick. Who else was there from Wisconsin? Was it just those two?
Who is their heavyweight?
I don't know. Trent
Alright,
Hilger.
We'll have to look at that. I don't think Hilger was there.
Is it? Yeah, I
We'll
don't
have to
think
look
it was
that
either.
up, but I'll pull up the brackets and that'll be fine. But
I
yeah,
have the brackets right here.
Gross looked really, really good. His final match with Nashon surprised me, but I mean, Nashon was up and down the entire weekend, so
So I mean, we can
it
just
surprised me, but not too much.
we can start off. I say we go weight by weight and just talk about the biggest upsets and how this all contributes to. Obviously, the big thing is going to be Olympic trials here,
Right.
hopefully in April or whenever that's going to be.
So 57 kg, I think the immediate biggest takeaway, and I know it's on all your minds, is Vito Ruggiero is a contender.
Super.
We'll let Erik talk about his Cornell boy here.
Yeah, you like Vito?
Yeah, he's pretty entertaining to watch.
Pretty? I think he's very entertaining. It's an understatement.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But my eyes were on him all weekend. I was excited to watch all of his matches, especially the
He's
ones
so
with
fun.
Nashon.
Did you guys see?
The first one with Nation was so
Did
good.
you guys see
a good
Christian
one.
Pyle's tweet about, or I think he posted on Twitter and Instagram, but Vito was stretching, and he was doing his warm up where he was like this, and
Yeah.
he was like hand fighting.
While he's
That's
stretching
just that
motion.
looked just like it.
Thank you. I'm
That was
not
good, Sam.
No,
So-
I love that. I thought that was so cool.
It was great.
Vito's really impressive, and just his variety in attacks and like
He doesn't have like one shot.
he doesn't have a shot. Like if you know Nashon Garrett, he's gonna hit you with a double from space.
Yeah.
Right. Like you know, and James Green has re-attacks for days. Like these guys have really well developed things that like really work for them. Whereas, I mean, Nashon was hitting foot sweeps. Or excuse me, Vito was hitting
Vito's
like
hitting
foot
foot
sweeps and.
Nashon was too. Nashon was too.
Who did he take? Mueller. He took down Mueller. Like he hooked his foot or something. I don't even remember. But like it's just such a dynamic variety of offense that it is so impressive.
I'll tell you what, Vito. You know how Yanni is so popular in
Mhm.
the sport within kids and everybody. Vito should be that popular.
Yeah.
And I know he hasn't had the same success that Yanni has. Vito, if you go to a wrestling room of a club of kids, most kids don't know who Vito is. And I'll tell you what, Vito is one of the biggest guys that I watch for film, American.
Mhm.
Oh my
Especially
gosh.
at that weight.
Because he's so
I don't
foreign.
He is. I don't watch anybody at 57 kilograms more than him. And
He's so good.
more kids need to be watching him, and
And-
coaches and stuff.
I'll say this: I really like him against the likes of a Nick Suriano, or I mean, obviously he beat Nick Suriano,
Right.
but
he
like
is very
or even
Gilman.
even a Dayton who have a lot more focused offense,
Gilman.
a lot less variety.
He needs a
'Cause
good draw.
He does need anyone at 57, no
So-
matter where you're gonna
so-
be, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna be
so I'm
horrid,
saying a
dude.
good stylistic draw. So he hits a guy like Gross or a guy like Spencer who has a really dynamic offense and can also fend off and keep a high pace with him. Even Sammy Alvarez is a bad matchup for him.
Mm.
And I know he wrestled him and did really well against him, but Sammy scored a bunch of points and a better game plan. That might be rough. Guy like RBY, if he can make 57, which I don't see happening. But any guys like that who are really dynamic and can keep a high pace with him are really going to struggle. So I think he needs a draw of, like, even if he hits Dayton, then Gilman, then Suriano, like a draw like that, even though those are super tough guys, that's a really good draw for him.
I think so too. And it's just, I mean, I like offense, and I think that offense is going to be the key to winning matches. I know, look at that. That was insightful right there. Offense is the key to winning matches.
Sounds like I completely agree.
I know. So
Sounds like a true David Taylor race.
Exactly. So I think that Vito, who has
points, have fun.
so much potential for point scoring, is really going to do well. Anyone else at 57 really catch your attention? I think we already touched on Nahshon, but he looked huge.
He also didn't he say he's not going back?
He's not going back down to 57, so he's going to probably go up.
He said
to 65.
that with Justin Bash, right?
Yeah, he's going to 65.
We're gonna have an off like a non-Olympic weight worlds next year if all goes well.
No idea what's going on. Yeah, normally we do, but no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
UWW's gonna struggle.
I think that Mueller. He started off the day with a win against day one, a win against Nahshon,
which is huge.
Which was good, and he wrestled a really smart match and caught all of the doubles with his face, and some really nice head pinches.
Yeah, he was telling us about that.
Oh man,
that must
special.
have been rough.
But I think that Mueller needs, again, I think a little more dynamic offense to just to create more scoring opportunities. Because I think if he gets in a hole of where he needs to get 2 takedowns in a minute or 2 takedowns in a minute and a half, he doesn't create enough scoring opportunities to really put himself in that match. So I think that that's just going to be something he's going to have to figure out for himself as he's going forward, how to create more scoring opportunities while also staying in good position. Because positionally, he is so sound.
Yeah,
like he just wrestles this left leg forward, hands open, and he just stands there and hand fight, and his down blocks were beautiful against Nahshon. It worked really, really well.
So let me ask you guys, what do the tiers look like at 57?
It's got to be Spencer.
Tier 1.
Is there anyone else on tier 1?
Yeah. I think Spencer, Dayton, Gilman. I think those guys are tier 1.
Okay.
And then I'll put Vito Gross. Tier 2.
Soriano.
Soriano lost to both those guys, but they were close.
It was literally last second in both of those matches.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Soriano in so long. I guess I'll put Soriano at tier 2.
I'm not going to sleep on next Soriano. I think he's tier 2. And then who else is going to be below that? I think it's it's
Nahshon.
Mueller and let me.
I feel like we're overlooking somebody. Wonder if Tony Ramos will ever come back. See if you can pull up some rankings of 57.
Yeah, I can
do it.
I got it.
Okay.
We actually, I'm gonna shameless plug. We have rankings.
Should I do our home advantage rankings?
You could do both. But we need to update those. We're looking at those, but then we kind of stopped because I was working on the women's rankings and then I forgot about the men's. And anyway, those should be coming out soon. Just senior level rankings for all the weights.
This doesn't look good at 57. If you go to the flow, like the international rankings,
the
first American guy is Thomas Gilman, number 17.
We have domestic rankings on there.
Cologne, we overlooked Cologne.
We did overlook Cologne.
Miocic isn't going to wrestle in America.
So Nabbit.
I think Cologne.
Treason.
Cologne has a loss to Soriano, but he has a win over Gross, so he's probably a tier 2, tier 3 type guy. So, but it's pretty clear. Like these top 3, top 4, it's gonna be so tight, dude.
It really is.
And
you want Spencer in a tier of his own?
Nah, maybe. I think we didn't say Darian Cruz. Darian Cruz is also doing pretty good.
I don't know if I'd put him in a tier 2 or tier 3.
I'd put him tier 3. So, Nato, Zane Richards, and Dylan Ragustin, who also has really been showing up. Okay, on to the next weight class, 65 this weekend down there was so much fun, especially because James Green made the move down from 70 to 65, but it was 65 plus 3. And so as a result, we got to see some really, really exciting matchups. Like, James Green versus Yanni.
That's the biggest one.
But Echamendio was down there,
Sasso.
Brayton Lee, Alec Pantaleo, Yanni, like just
He's getting more
so
stacked.
stacked, dude. I think I was just so impressed with Pantaleo. I think positionally he's really good. And again, when he wrestled Brayton the day one, pushing to get that tech when he knew that the dual meet was on the line.
Tomasello.
We
That's another guy.
We said
We said
Tomasello.
Tomasello. That's
Yeah.
my bad.
Um,
Megaludis is up there too.
Oh, he's back. I forgot.
These are our rankings. I'm just gonna video podcast. Great radio here, but those are our rankings right now. We've got Gilman at 1, Fix 2, Cologne, Spencer, Gross, Tomasello.
People are gonna hate us for putting Spencer so low.
I mean, he hasn't done enough. He's only won one
Is he-
tournament.
He's a U.S. Open champ,
That's all he's
Senior
done.
Nationals champ. So I think 65. For me, I thought Alec Pantaleo looked really good. I thought Yanni looked incredible. I thought Green looked super good. I thought he looked huge, but I also was really impressed with he was in matches late. I didn't know how his conditioning was going to hold up, but I think he did really well. I think Brayton still looks just raw. I mean, he's only like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, right? And he's wrestling guys who are much, much older than him, already graduated college, and he's going into his redshirt sophomore year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's got he's just gonna get so much better. So I'm really proud of how he performed. Any other thoughts from 65 here?
Not really. I think scrambling is so high level at 65.
Yeah.
That might be the best weight for scrambling.
Yeah, dude.
You think so?
I feel like I'm missing somebody. Who did I not talk about?
I don't know. There were some other guys in there, but those were the main. The guys we talked about were the leaders of that weight.
Was Karchla at 74? Yeah,
Carson was 74. He looks so good.
So I guess we can move there.
Yeah.
Then 74. Big one, day one. Karchla beats Makai Lewis, returning NCAA champion.
Yeah, junior world champ.
Oh my gosh, dude! Karchla was so freaking good.
Yeah.
He
So
looked awesome.
you guys, have you guys ever seen Kartsla you guys are close to his age on the high school level or
No,
anything?
never.
No.
Don't watch high school
Have
wrestling.
you ever heard of him before this? Before?
Well,
Ohio
not
State?
before this, but I knew it was
Before
a big deal.
Ohio
He's coming to
State.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Before Ohio State, no.
So, one of the cool things about, I was thinking y'all might know, but one of the cool things about being our age and current wrestlers is we kind of get an inside look at who's going to be good in college, over some of the other people that are in wrestling media. So that's our advantage, right? The home
Advantage, as some would say.
So I've actually been to a couple camps and stuff with Kartsla. His dad, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Team Moran in Columbus, Ohio.
No.
His dad is an immigrant from Russia.
Whoa.
Came over on a trip.
Oh yeah, Karchla was a Russian name.
Yeah. Came over on, it actually had to be translated, they're first generation. But anyway, that was good. Anyway, his dad was a Russian wrestler and came over on a trip and stayed. He didn't go back. And started his club, being really successful. But one of the philosophies that he had for Carson was that he didn't compete at all when he was little. That's why nobody really heard of him as much, is because he never competed.
He wasn't doing.
He didn't. None of the big tournaments. None of the high school tournaments really.
Really?
He just kind of
Trained.
stayed low and trained hard. And I'll tell you what, he trained hard. And his dad had him do it exactly his way. He followed the path, loved it, and did everything his dad had him do. And it was really good system for him. And now he's kind of blowing up. Everybody sees how good he is. And I could see from a while back he was going to be a really good wrestler.
And it's interesting because he has a different feel
He has such a different
as
feel.
compared to a lot of those contenders at 74.
He's got the Russian feel.
He's got the Russian feel, at least a little bit. I think he's a little more stand there hand fighty than someone like Vito,
Right.
who
right.
certainly has a foreign feel. But no, clearly, when wrestling Makai.
So the thing about 74, I think, is it's a super explosive athletic weight. You got guys like Dake, you got guys like Burroughs, Jason Nolf, Imar, Makai at that weight that are so explosive, so athletic. And you get a guy like Kartsla to go in there and mix it up a little bit, where he's got a little different feel, a little more
savvy,
slick, a little savvy.
I find it interesting that you numbered Jason Nolf within the explosive athletic guys.
He is explosive and athletic. He looks so awkward.
He does
He's
kinda
so
look funny.
He doesn't have a.
He walks
explosive build.
inside toe. He walks like this.
He's a funny dude. He
He's so
loves
fun.
golf too.
I pinned him one time. You remember that, Eric?
I do remember that.
74.
That same day.
You just skipped over me
I pinned
pinning
Cal.
Jason.
Hush.
No.
Let's see. 74. I was really impressed with Evan Wick. Even if he couldn't break through in a lot of those matches, I think that he's on the right path. And I think especially like he was in there with Massa, and he's in there with a lot of these dudes. After being the college guy who could not break through, couldn't beat Chenzo, couldn't beat Marinelli, I think that it's going to show like he's getting really close. So I was really interested by him. I thought Massa looked really good. Oh, Hayden Hyde Lee.
Hayden Hyde Lee versus
Jeez, dude.
Massa.
So that match, Hayden's up by 8.
In the
8 points.
there's
man.
like maybe 2 minutes left.
And then just what happened, Eric?
Got forward twice.
One of the times he threw himself to his back,
That's very true.
and then the other time he got ran over. Wow.
That's
I
how you
think
come
that-
back there.
Here's the thing about a wrestling match. Got to close it out, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how many points you score in the first. If you can't hold it out in the second, you're not gonna get your hand raised. So good on Massa for just keeping awareness. He knew what he had to do,
Yeah.
and as soon as he felt Hidley go under, he just ran him right over. And then I think aside from that, Hidley looked really, really, really good.
So Eric, tell us your inside knowledge on Spartan. Why was Dake not there? Seriously. And Gabe and Max. Where were they?
For sure, they had to quarantine because COVID.
Ew! I
Ugh.
hate COVID.
The
It's
vid.
annoying. So what do you guys think about Burroughs calling him out, and then they got into that little tussle?
It was hilarious.
I kind of cringed on it. It
You
was-
think so? All right,
yeah, I
this is
didn't-
a
I didn't
Cornell
like it.
fan. Cornell commit Dake Homer talking about that. You cringed on Dake?
I cringed on both of them.
Yeah.
Did Javon Belfour go? Did he go 0-6?
I think.
He might have. Yeah.
It's just a shame because I thought it was interesting. I thought he actually had a good little feel. I thought he was pretty interesting to watch. Okay.
He was winning. I think he was
So-
winning a match, with maybe.
So Karchla beat Gant beat Massa. 65 was awesome. And I forgot I was supposed to be looking at. Oh no, I was looking at set. I confused myself. All right, let's talk about anyone else at 74 that really stuck out to you. Mackay took a couple lumps.
I don't see any of those guys at the top, anywhere near the top tier at 74.
No, it's not even close.
So I
think
see
Hidley is a contender. I think
For
Massa
what?
is
contender for what?
to be in that tier 2, tier 3 guys. To get a medal at the Olympic trials.
Gotcha.
I think everyone else is kind of not gonna medal.
So you got I'd say
So
top
if
tier
you're
is
saying
obviously
it's
Burroughs,
Burroughs,
Dake.
Dake,
then Imar sneaking into that tier,
Imar.
but I'm just gonna say he's still second tier.
No, Imar's first year. He took him out from.
He's right in.
He's
still-
right there.
That's what I'm saying. He's
on
second
their
tier,
heels.
fighting up there.
And then
nobody's gonna
under
pick
that,
him
it's
over
got to
there.
be it's Nolf and it's
Massa.
Massa, and then after Massa, I'd say probably.
Not Mackay. So
I think it's Hidley and Massa.
what about
Yeah.
Chenzo?
I don't.
Chenzo beat Mackay.
Chenzo lost to Nolf.
He's
But-
beaten Imar in college.
He's beaten
right?
Massa. in
He's beaten
college.
Massa in college. I think with the right training, and you're the NLWC homer.
I am really excited for Chenzo. Looking forward in the future, I don't think he's there right now, and I think he will get as good as he wants to get. I think he's going to get there. He works extremely hard, but I think right now, just being behind that top 4-ish guys, so good. But would you guys agree with me when we say it's Dake and it's Burroughs, maybe Imar, but Jason Nolf doesn't fit into that group of 3.
I agree.
I agree.
Because man,
Not quite.
oh man, I'm gonna
I
get
completely agree.
beat up by my dad for this.
Why
It's-
is he high on Jason Nolf?
He loves Jason Nolf.
We
Who
should
doesn't? I love Jason Nolf
We
too.
all love Jason Nolf.
He's hard not to.
so
love.
awesome. He's so awesome.
Yeah, I don't really know anybody that could not like Jason Nolf. He's got such a fun personality, such a fun style. Dominates
Where does
and
Burger
just goes
fit
around.
into? Is Tyler Berger?
He walks into the Olympic trials with Jason Nolf's head on his like. Stick.
I'm walking out with his head. That was the best thing to ever happen on Twitter. When Tyler Berger 0-5 against Nolf, it's like I'm taking him out.
I'm taking his head. It wasn't just I'm beating him. He said I'm stepping away from Twitter to get focused. I'm taking Jason Nolf's head with me.
He's like, I'm going 5-0 at NCAA's, and that includes Jason Nolf. And I was like, oh,
Wow, dude.
It was
and
fun.
Then he didn't back it up.
All right, 86. It's Trent Hyde Lee, dude.
Trent Hyde Lee.
Woo!
Raising the roof.
Super good. I thought Miles Amin was also really impressive. I thought it was cool to see a guy like Brett Farr get out there and go for those far ankles.
Far ankles.
Get it? I thought Farr looked really good, but I mean Hyde Lee's on a different level. His underhooks are unrivaled, and I mean Imar's are pretty good. But what's interesting, here's really something that I noticed about Hyde Lee, Imar, and Hassan Yazdani Charati. They bully people with their underhooks.
Yeah.
They don't get an underhook and wait. They get an underhook and they go. Like, it's time. Like, I'm pushing you out of bounds and I'm going to get this takedown.
Who's the Iranian that Jordan Burroughs wrestled?
I don't know. But I think, like, that a little insight to underhook offense, guys.
They all do
These
it
guys
too.
they all do it different, but there's, like, the common thread of, like, getting to the underhook and
using it,
like, being offensive with it.
Yeah.
They don't sit there and
Gudarzi
wait.
did
They
it.
go
That's
forward.
the guy I was looking for. 2012. He wrestled a guy named Gudarzi from Iran.
Was that in the finals?
I think it was in the finals. It was
Gudarzi.
Gudarzi.
One of the few yawning on my show. Am I boring you?
Jude, we didn't sleep last night.
Oh yeah, we didn't sleep last night. Forgot to mention that. All right,
It was the World Cup.
Yeah, so underhook offense, really good. But I think Hyde Lee, it's gotta be. It's David. It's Gabe. It's
Better throw Gabe in there.
Yeah, it's clearly David and Gabe. Also at 86. I'm blanking on all the names.
Y'all leave out the man, the myth, the legend.
Patrick Downey the third.
Patrick Downey the third.
PD3.
Unattached assassin.
I mean, you
the
also
homeless-
have below that like a tier of like Nate Jackson and Sammy Brooks and I mean Dom Abinator is probably gonna wrestle because he's Cliff Keen.
He
probably not
takes-
gonna wrestle for.
He takes Dylan Palacios, homeless wrestler, to another level.
Drew Foster had a win over Nate Jackson.
All right, and we are back after a short break for
Ice cream.
ice cream
And technical difficulties.
and
Jesus
technical
on it.
difficulties. Our computer definitely didn't just crash. It was definitely for the ice cream. So we are getting back to it. I think we were talking about 97 kg at the
We were,
RTC
and
Cup.
I was just about to comment that nobody's gonna win this except for two
Snyder and
people,
Cox.
Snyder and Cox.
And you said Jaden Michael Tbilisi Cox.
Jekyll Michael Tabori Cox.
Jekyll.
Jekyll. So,
I'm a really
well, because of that, I think that I didn't really watch 97 all that closely this at the RTC Cup because it was.
Excuse me.
Wasn't that interesting?
It really wasn't. But I'll tell you what was interesting. It's heavyweight.
Heavyweight has quickly become my top 6 favorite Olympic weights.
Wow.
It's
that's-
made
that's
the
a-
list.
That's really
Wow.
hard to do.
I know.
Wow.
So, well, I mean, the big news:
Unbelievable.
Gable Stevenson does it, knocks out Gwiz, first day.
Mason Paris.
Mason
does it.
Paris was up by 8, and then proceeds to get tech fault.
Yeah.
Day 2 did not go so well for Gwiz,
No.
as he suffered one more loss.
One more loss.
Two
Yeah.
Mason Parrish.
To Mason Paris, who got the
So-
revenge win.
All right. I think we're gonna spend most of the time on a conspiracy theory that I have for heavyweight. Okay.
I'm gonna
Oh, boy.
eat that ice cream if you keep holding it like that.
Answer me this. Answer me this. Jaden. Okay. Okay. Kyle Snyder, 2017, 2018, 2019. Was he or was he not the most marketable? He worked the hardest with Rudis on posting everything, on getting his brand big, and he was so posting everything.
You saying
right?
16, 17, 18?
No, 17, 18, 19. Right?
Maybe not 19.
Maybe not so much 19.
No, not so much
especially
19.
17, 18 though.
17 and 18.
He got his new shoes 18. Rudis deal, like everything was kind of blossoming then.
I still think Burrows was big in 16.
Burrows
17.
was big, but I'm saying he worked the hardest. He worked so hard, right?
Okay, I think that's fair.
And he was always on social media posting. However, 2020 comes around. Jaden Cox moves up to his weight. Since then, I have seen almost nothing out of him. Almost nothing.
Well, I mean, he also has
He got
moved.
hurt a lot too.
He's got been injured recently. He got moved to NLWC, and they have a little bit different of a, I guess you could say, an atmosphere and an attitude
Perspective
towards,
of social media.
towards social media. And
Perspective. I didn't mean to say
I think
perspective.
also, I mean, he was in Columbus with Rudis. Like, he's right there.
Right.
And it's probably a lot easier. There's probably a lot more
Anyway.
connections. Whereas when you move across,
Hey, quit ruining my
the whole
conspiracy
state.
theory.
Sorry,
please.
continue.
Jaden Cox moves up, right? Now, heavyweight is clearing up. Gwiz loses to Mason Paris and Gable Stevenson. Kassar says he's staying for 1 year. Gable says he's staying for 1 year. Gwiz is falling off right now. Mason Paris is like the last man standing with Kirkfleet, right? Kyle Snyder, there's always been talk of what would happen if he moved up.
He's too small, man.
He can bulk up, though. We've seen him be able to wrestle heavyweights in college.
It's not the
He beat
same,
Adam
dude.
Kuhn.
He's wrestling,
He knocked off Adam Kuhn. He beat Gwiz.
but at the
the
world
NCAA
level,
finals.
he's going to wrestle Taha Agul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Patricia who are super heavyweights,
Right.
who are just huge.
They're huge. But I think Kyle Snyder can do it. And we've seen him do it. Wrestle guys that are really big, like Adam Kuhn. So freaking huge.
What Agul and Patricia have that Kuhn doesn't, it's just this athleticism.
Kuhn has a bunch of athleticism. I'm
Sure,
gonna say skill.
sure. I'm not gonna
I'm gonna
say
say Kuhn doesn't have the skill that those guys have.
it's not the same. And I think that just it's a different animal up there. And I don't know if he can. I don't think
I don't know if he can
Snyder is
either.
best suited to.
Look,
to
he
up
knows
there.
how it goes with Jaden Cox. He knows how it goes. They've wrestled so much. He knows how it goes with him. And I think from the stories that I've heard out of that room, it's not close. Jaden Cox, it's not close with him. Do you want my ice cream? Or
No,
Corey,
it's really bothering me how you're holding it.
Just
though.
eat
how,
it.
how you want me to hold it?
Huh?
How you want me to hold it?
Not like that.
So I think that Cox. I don't know, man.
And
I
it
don't
really
even know what to
bothered me how
say.
you licked it and then just looked at me.
Would you guys stay focused on the wrestling? Ice cream was a terrible idea.
No, I'm not gonna say
All
that.
right. So
Anyway,
I don't.
do you
so
think it's possible?
that he moves up?
Uh-huh.
No.
No.
Do you think it's possible?
No.
Especially when
Y'all are
Kirkfleet's in
like
the room.
haters of my conspiracy theories.
Well, it
Especially
wasn't a
Kirk-
good one.
Okay, what do you guys think of Kirkfleet? I mean, like,
He's a beast, but he's not ready.
here's the biggest question: is he Mason Paris ready? Is he ready for Gable Stevenson and Gwiz, or is it going to be another year? Is it going to be 2 more years?
I don't know.
How far is he behind developmentally?
I don't know. We haven't seen him compete in too long.
Because I hear things that are like he is just like
I mean,
just
remember when Gable and
a
him wrestled in high school?
savant, dude.
You remember
No,
when Gable?
I
and him-
know.
He was a 220. Wrestled Gable as a heavyweight. He's big size difference. It was like a 1 or 2 point match. Gable beat him, but it was really close. Huge weight difference, and they were not in the training positions they are now. But I mean, if I'm going to give an edge to somebody in training, I'm going to give the edge to the guy at Penn State over the guy at Minnesota.
That's
Right.
very true.
Yeah, and clearly Kirkfleet's a little more invested in the sport than Gable is.
Right.
Gable already said he wants to get out of here, which is a shame because he's been called the greatest recruit.
school.
Yeah, greatest high school recruit of all time. So I would say, I think if it's true and Gwiz goes out and Gable goes out and Kassar goes out, then it does really open the door for Kirkfleet to step up. And I mean, it's him and Don
Sure.
Bradley and Mason Paris.
Don
And-
Bradley's falling off too.
Yeah, you know he's like 31.
Mhm.
He's like older than David, who had his 30th birthday. Happy birthday, Coach David.
Happy birthday. Say happy
So
birthday.
Happy birthday, David.
it's crazy, man.
Coach David.
Not you can't call him.
I'm gonna He's coached me before. I'm gonna count.
So
I don't want to
boy.
call him David though. That's even weirder.
he's not going to watch this.
No, he's not.
So David, so heavyweight is just an enigma right now. I think that
Big word.
Jude, that was a very big vocabulary.
Dude, I'm so excited for the Olympic trials.
Jude to Cornell.
Jude to Cornell.
We already told
So I guess the next thing we can talk about is the Scrap Life card, which I had it on my phone when we went to go get ice cream. I left my phone upstairs. So does anyone want to go to
Oh, what's the best way to get to it?
Boschamania's Instagram and then
All right.
scroll down for the NLWC card?
Shout out to Justin Bosch.
Justin Bosch, you the man, dude. So
This is a very touchy subject.
November 24th.
There's flour on me.
Okay. We made sugar cookies. November 24th, there was another NLWC Rockfin card. Best one by far. I mean, I'll just read the matchups real quick. Nick Lee versus Brandon Wright. Nick Neville's Mauro Correnti. Joe Lee versus Zach Hartman. Franklin Gomez versus Boris Novachkov, which is rematch of an Olympic. Maxine versus CJ Brocky. Michael Beard versus Nate Jackson. Carter Shiraki versus Chance Marsteller. Jen Page versus Lauren Mason. Thomas Gilman versus Frank Pirelli. Zane Rutherford versus Reese Humphrey. And David Taylor versus Gabe Dean. That is stupid, dude. That's got to be one of the best cards we've seen, period.
Right.
Like, I mean, you have Olympic level matches. You have number 1 versus number 2s. You
Taylor
have
Dean
guys.
could be the Olympic trials final.
You could have.
Yeah.
You're having guys who are coming out of retirement in Reese Humphrey and Boris Novachkov. You have multiple number 1s competing. You have women matches. You have the young underdog Carter Shiraki taking out seasoned veteran Chance Marsteller. Like, and on top of that, like, just making it an extremely marketable product. They're getting better every single time.
I'm sorry.
You're like gulping that ice cream.
I have sensitive teeth. It's hard.
He goes.
So NLWC number 3 turned out, in my opinion, it was my favorite one yet.
It was definitely my favorite.
Biggest
Definitely
takeaways.
not my favorite.
Carter Staraki is he's the thing, dude. He is the next level. And he's right there, I say, against Kemmerer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, undoubtedly.
If you're beating
You guys remember
Chance
the scuffle
Marsteller
with him last year?
and how mean he was to people.
How mean he was to seniors. Like,
He was,
there's
like,
this
kicking
Navy
him.
senior. I always forget his name.
You were there, right?
I was there. I called, I think, all of his matches but the finals. But
So lame, we can't even call the finals match.
I know.
I know.
call Christian, tell him I'm mad. So he was bullying like this Navy senior who was the 1 seed. And he was like pushing him off the mat and holding him down, like cutting him. And
Yeah.
the dude was getting ticked that this true freshman like
Bullying.
him. And he's a Navy, in the military, tough guy,
Mhm.
getting pushed around by this freshman. It was funny.
Dude, Staraki is the real freaking deal.
Yeah.
And he's certainly a 3-timer, if not a 4-time national champion. Because there's nobody in the foreseeable future. I mean,
How
let's
does
see,
your
if
dad
he's
feel
at
about him?
74, we love him. He's
I'm thinking he's
a
an Ed
North,
Ruth.
whatever. He was in
wrestles
my
like Ed Ruth?
region.
Yeah, no.
So
what?
I'm in the Northwest region,
Northwest.
Northeast region. I think
Northeast.
Y'all
I'm
gotta
Northeast regional.
You guys got to teach me the regions.
Northeast.
Well,
I got
I'm the
one.
Northeast
We're
regional
Northeast?
AAA PIAA. Carter Staraki and I wrestled.
Which one am I?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's different for
Thanks,
double A.
Jim.
It's different for AA.
We're gonna be AAA.
Carter Staraki goes to
We
went to Erie Cathedral Prep,
That's
and so he would like wrestle in the finals with me. I was also in the finals. So like 1 year I was at 115 and he was up there at 160 something, and then I was at 126 and he was there like. No, he wasn't there. But when I my freshman year, he was a senior. So it's cool to see a guy who is in my region and I've seen wrestle. Now he's growing up and kicking butt.
That's
dude.
gonna be you guys. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's my guy.
That's right. I held my fist up for a fist bump and Eric did not see it.
even see it.
I was staring at Sam trying to.
So, once again, Jennifer Paige,
The rest.
really impressive.
The rest.
Oh, the cone.
Okay, so that means the rest.
what I was
I
talking
don't know.
All right.
You're gonna have these guys.
Jennifer Paige has not lost since senior nationals. She is doing extremely well. She's clearly getting better. I mean, she beat Lauren Mason, who's another one of those top contenders at that weight class. She just keeps getting better and better and better. Gilman called out Spencer, and that's what he insinuated. Yeah. That was pretty sick. Zane Rutherford versus Reese Humphrey, kind of what I expected. A lot of fun to see someone come out of retirement like that. And I reloaded Rockfin, which is I did.
Great job.
Come on,
great job.
And then the match.
Let's have Eric talk about this one.
You guys talk first.
Okay, so
This is a hard subject for me to talk.
You don't actually have to talk. So.
Yeah, you do.
David Taylor versus Gabe.
You have to make a pick for the Olympic trials. You have to talk about why you think the other one's better than the other one. You have to talk about which one you like more.
Tell them which one you like more.
Yeah.
So,
and then we'll send both of those clips to each guy.
So, Eric, our good friend Eric, is a Cornell commit, and his good friend Gabe Dean wrestled our club coach David Taylor in the main card event.
Our club coach.
Yeah, our club. Eric and I's, not Sam.
That's true, it's not Sam.
In the NLWC number 3 main card. And I'm just going to start off and say, really, really impressed with Gabe Dean. I think he wrestled just about the perfect match against David Taylor and, executed the game plan almost to a T. You could see, from the beginning, but even more into the second period, he shut down David's offense by tying him up and preoccupying with the hand fight.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone in the world knows if you let David Taylor continually get to your legs, you're going to continually give up points.
Right.
Because that's what David's so good at, is just let's go, pushing the pace. Interesting thing, that was the first time David has been scored on in the second period since 2017.
Yeah.
He hasn't been scored on in the second period.
I didn't know that.
3
That's
years.
Wild.
Yeah, because
he hasn't competed in a long time, granted, but still, that's a long time.
Sam Herring's ice cream cone is soggy.
Because he hasn't eaten it.
Oh my gosh. We're getting this clip. I'm sorry for all the podcast audio listeners right now.
I'm so mad.
I can't believe what just happened.
They hear a crunch and then everybody starts laughing.
All over my new sweatshirt.
Hey, he's listening.
If you're listening on audio, you need to go to the YouTube video.
I'm furious. I'm going to the bathroom. You guys finish this up.
Okay.
Gosh dang it.
So,
Bye,
right.
Jude.
Bye, Jude. So,
Hey, Sam.
that was fun.
Sam and
All right,
Gibson.
so, Sam and Gibson, new tag for the podcast. Where we'll replace that. Just put, a tape over it. Sam and Gibson. Instead of Sam and Swisher. Okay, so, or we could do, your middle name, Sam and Jonathan.
I don't want that.
No reason
Sam and
whatsoever.
Gib.
Sam and Gib.
Gib and Herring.
Gibby Herring. All right, so, initial thoughts going into, I know you really don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm going to make you, because Jude's not here. Initial thoughts going into the match. I know these guys are both your buddies, but, just from a, analytics perspective view, what do you think is going to happen in the match? Even without thinking of, who's going to win, how do you think the match is going to go?
Let me just start off by saying that most people were high on David Taylor coming out off the mat with a win, maybe 10-0.
Yeah, I felt that too.
But anytime anyone would say that, I would kind of disagree and say I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be closer than you expect.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I kept it, because I didn't want to get really involved in that match.
I'm back. I'm so mad that Sam Herring couldn't eat his ice cream fast enough, and then when he gave it to me, I took a bite into it, and it exploded all over my new sweatshirt.
It's your fault.
It is my fault. I shouldn't have been so quick to bite an ice cream cone, but that was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
So,
the audio listeners, I'm still cracking up. I want to hear that. It just goes crunch, and then we burst out laughing.
So yeah, this is another reason why you should watch the YouTube. It's
he made me talk about the match.
Uh-oh. That wasn't very kind. Okay. Is there anything else we should touch on? Oh.
The 8-man coming up?
Well, before that, so Gabe Dean versus David Taylor. A lot closer match than a lot of people anticipated. Certainly a lot closer than I anticipated. Really impressed with Gabe Dean. This leads into the next big thing, January 9th, David Taylor versus Jordan Burroughs. Holy cow, guys. What are we thinking?
I don't know. It's tough.
I'm picking David Taylor.
I am picking David.
I know you are. And you guys know who I'm picking. I'm picking Jordan Burroughs. So Jude had a good article idea that we'll go in and you guys will write an article of why David Taylor will win that match for sure, and I'm gonna write an article on why Jordan Burroughs will win. So first of all, I'll start on my reasoning because I'm obviously outnumbered here, and that reasoning is because I've never picked Jordan Burroughs to lose, and I never will again. I'm kidding. That's not really my main reason.
No, that's not good. I was like, wow.
However,
his thesis is not well supported.
I really looked. Okay, I'm so confused. I really looked at David Taylor as almost untouchable for a long time, especially this summer. The way he looked against Miles Martin, even a little bit sloppy, he still dominated, right? And I looked at him as untouchable and was like, I want to pick Burroughs, but I have no reasoning to pick him right now. And so I've always wanted to pick Burroughs because I feel like I want to pick the underdog, like the guy who's the littler guy, and littler as in size, just for reference. Littler as in size. So love Jordan Burroughs. He's like the American representative as in wrestling. And when David wrestled Gabe Dean, it changed my mind as David is not completely untouchable. People can score on him. People can keep the match close. And I told them last night, I think the way this match is going to look is a little bit like Zahid Markal. With, what did I say? Zahid was Burroughs.
Just more dynamic.
No, I think I was thinking David Taylor's Burroughs David Taylor's Valencia. Because he takes so many shots, and every takedown that Burroughs is going to get is going to be a retack. So the way I see this match going is, I don't know if Jordan's going to take a single shot, to start. I think every takedown is going to come off of David Taylor's shot, whether Burroughs is able to reattack or Taylor's going to finish the shot right there. But I see it going, Taylor shoots, Burroughs reattacks to get into a scramble. Whoever wins those scrambles is going to win the match, to me.
And so that's why I think, if we're going off of that, that's why I think David would win, because I think his pace and his scramble. It's not as his scramble we saw against Dean was.
People really underestimate Jordan Burroughs'. No, I was going to say pace.
His pace is good, but even against Zahid, we saw he faded. He has sprints, but it's not consistent sprint. David Taylor,
I don't think he really faded.
It's consistent sprint. Against
Valencia was the one who faded, and he scored 8 points at the end of the match.
They both kind of looked kind of tired.
They both looked
here's
tired.
What I say.
Yes.
Think of it like this: you got your energy level. Jordan Burroughs, he goes here, and then he jumps up, and then he goes back down. Mm-hmm. Then he jumps up and he goes back down, and he coasts at this, but he jumps up really. He can jump up really fast.
Right.
David, his coasting is all the way up here, and what he does these sprints, and he jumps up too. But then he goes back to just a consistently higher pace. So I think that David's conditioning is going to win out in the end. And I think that, whoever wins these flurries of David attack, Jordan re-attack, scramble, these flurries, whoever can outlast them is probably going to take the match. I also think that, years ago, David was a kid, and we saw him 2 times now be winning the match, against Burroughs, and unable to close it out.
Twice?
At least twice. There was.
I only remember one.
The one was the cradle.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember. World Team Trials 2015, I think it was.
He did 2 roll-through cradles, right?
Yeah.
And he's up by 3.
Yeah, I agree that match.
4.
He was up in that match, but I don't know of another match that they wrestled each other.
I'll have to look it up. But that being said, I just think that David's gotten so much better, and I think
So is
that he's
Jordan.
going to try to get to the legs, finish quickly. I don't think he's going to be doing any sort of like.
Now, what leg
reach.
attack does he have to shoot?
He's got to get two hands to the leg, because if you whiff on Jordan Burroughs, if you miss, then he's going to be over here, and he's going to just get right behind you. So I think
Get right behind you. Wow,
I know. Genius wrestling analysis by Jude Swisher.
Jordan, hey, if you miss on Jordan Burroughs,
whiff.
he'll get right behind
Right
you.
Why
behind
did you give
you.
him a southern accent?
Because it
buddy?
sounds dumb.
Goofball.
Goober.
Nice.
You goober.
So, Eric, what do you think? Any last thoughts about this match?
I mean, everything you guys said is perfect, but then
Thanks.
we also have to know the fact that Jordan Burroughs is jumping up 26 pounds.
Ooh.
And I just feel like that's going to be a lot.
It is a lot.
It's because remember he wrestled Zahid at a catch weight 185.
We
And-
talked about this again. Wait, how much is 86?
86 is like 195,
It's,
Are you sure?
I think
93.
it's 193.1. 0.2.
Let's see.
It's
86.
189.597.
So David is certainly coming down. Burroughs
That's only
is
4 pounds, dude. I don't know. That's not a catch weight.
yeah, but David's a bigger 180, bigger 86 pounder than Zahid.
Oh, much bigger.
Much bigger.
So
I think, and I mean, even Zahid took Burroughs down, and I don't think David is going to be that.
The way he took him down was off a duck.
Sick
It was really sick.
duck.
But
So
David can't do that.
David's not going to be doing ducks like that. I don't know, man. It's hard.
So
for me
this
to
is
pick.
where I see. I'm not going to argue that David's not going to be a lot bigger than Jordan. But what I am going to argue is that Jordan Burroughs might have the best diet and nutrition system in all of wrestling. And when he needs to put on weight in a healthy way, he can, and he's going to put it on the right way. And he's not going to be too focused on putting on
bad weight.
bad weight. And I think that might be something that's going to help him with the pace, is being a little bit bigger and not having to cut weight, but being bigger off of strength and just good size, right?
Mhm.
So I think it might actually, so when you look at heavyweights, sometimes the lighter heavyweights do better. So Tommy Rollins talked about when he was in college, he tried so hard to get up to 285, and he realized 250 was better for him, right? That he was more successful against the guys at 250. Sometimes it's an advantage to be smaller. Now, David Taylor is not like an unhealthy large. Like, he does not
Bulking
have to
for
cut
him really. I mean, it was
He did it
clearly
really
the
well.
right decision.
Right.
Like
And
he
he
was
did it
sucking.
really well.
He was sucking so much to even stay at 65 for the college. For his college
Yeah.
seasons, he sucked so much, and then to then go from that to 74, which
Yeah.
I believe is a lower weight class, right?
74 is
kg.
163.
Yeah. So he went from 65 to 63.
Yeah.
Like, that is so hard. That was so hard on his body.
Now, the thing about at that time,
and he was still beating, like, Andrew Howe and,
At that time-
and stuff.
but at that time, the weigh-ins were day before.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, I mean,
So
clearly,
dumb.
like, bulking, going
Day
up,
before weigh-in, I'm just going to say that's just so dumb.
dumbest idea.
It should be 2 hours for every level. The idea of international and college where people are responsible and have responsible coaches and people that know what they're doing, having good rules, but at the youth level where crazy dads are telling, no, you can just keep spitting, boy, just keep spitting.
We've been there.
Where we have day before weigh-ins where it's unhealthy. So stupid. Ugh. So dumb. Sorry.
No, I hear you.
It's just dumb.
It's
Okay,
very, and
yeah.
it's smart to keep, especially at the high school level, from keeping kids from cutting too much weight. If you
Yeah.
have an hour before, 2 hour before
But,
weigh-in,
Jude, you know what they've done now is they've used that day before weigh-ins, and now they've added an even earlier weigh-ins where it's almost 24 hours, like a 24-hour weigh-in.
yeah, that's what we
To
did
make
for
more
West
money.
Penn.
Yeah, and people pay it. I would pay the money to get an early weigh-in.
I paid
advantage.
it.
I think we all did.
For Super 32.
Yeah, it's an advantage, and we're gonna
It
take
certainly
that.
is. It's
But
kinda
it's
strange.
just a cheap thing for tournaments to make more money, even though it's probably unhealthy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the tournaments are businesses too, and they're trying to break even. Like, if you're renting a facility as big as the one that they have in Super 32 and stuff, like,
Right.
That's probably pretty expensive, and you have 65 some mats and food and staff to pay and things like
Right.
that. And They're dishing out a lot of money. I would be surprised if a lot of, especially little tournaments, lose money over the course of tournaments, and then maybe you got to have something as big as Super 32 or Fargo or something like that to really start making cash. So I don't know, and I think with that kind of brings us to the end of this podcast. They have the Flow 8 man, but I feel like Sam and I can talk about that another time.
Sorry,
We
Eric.
can bring Eric on another. That was pretty fun.
It was.
He really
Enjoyed
added
it.
a lot to the conversation by sitting there in his cozy little armchair. Lovely. So, and I guess with that, we've come to the end of another Home Advantage Wrestling podcast. This was the Christmas edition.
Where's our
Sam
hat?
Herring
Go get the hat.
throwing
Where's that?
the sound of jingle bells.
Jingle bells.
All right, ready? Right now.
Ready?
Okay, good.
Cool.
See, so that was your Christmas edition. Hope you guys liked it. Remember to check out our merch, homeadvantage.com,
This gave me, like, another
HMAwrestling.com.
ending thing.
Yeah, I
On
did.
top of the ice cream problem.
All right, throw in an
No,
ice
we're
cream
leaving that
sound.
in.
I mean that.
Put in the
our
sound,
ice cream
Sam.
break.
Put in the sound of me crunching on the ice
I
cream.
might like turn that up on purpose.
Okay,
just
good.
for
So
fun.
everyone can hear it.
Crunch.
Zoom in on the drip.
So I hope all of you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and hopefully we talk some more wrestling here soon. We just posted our interview with Yanni Diakomahalis, the third one, because we can't get enough of this goober.
we were just thinking about last night. What if we had Yanni and Vito on at the same time?
Ooh.
I mean,
I
we've
will
had
be here
Yanni on
again.
enough.
I'll
Why
be
not
here
have
again.
him again?
It will be another Sam and Swisher plus Eric.
Sam and Swisher plus Eric podcast. All right.
And you'll just sit there in the corner and just
Eric,
sit
Sam, anything else to close this out?
No, Eric, thanks for jumping on. I know
Thank you,
it
buddy.
Thank
was
you. for
probably
having
kind
me.
of stressful, but I mean,
First
it's
time.
fun. Yeah. Do you like it?
I did.
Lots of fun?
Yeah.
You see why we do it?
I had
Alright.
fun with Jude, not Sam.
My
Sam-
man!
I get it. I get it.
All right. And with that, I think we call it a day.
We'll see you next time.